Good afternoon. At this afternoon's Who Are You podcast for Intelligence Forums, we're privileged to have Simon Kenney, the CEO of Goodfellow. Simon, thank you very much indeed for agreeing to have this interview, this podcast
Thanks for
interview.
inviting me.
So the first question I'd like to ask you, Simon, is what has been your professional journey to where you are today?
Well, I started life as an electronics engineer, which is quite different probably from the material science that I'm in today. But I very quickly realized that there was more money in sales, so moved into technical sales, where I worked for many years, in fact, 24 years, for a company called RS Components, who are a global distributor of electronic components and other kind of MRO type products. And during my time with them, I probably had a dozen different jobs, encompassing everything from sales, international and domestic, sourcing, product management, and even included a year as a consultant to the joint venture in India, which was a bit of a shock when I told my family that that's where we were going for a year in somewhere near Delhi. And then I joined Goodfellow about almost 10 years ago now, as sales director with a remit to help professionalize the business and get it ready for sale from the one of the founders. And I did that, and myself and the CFO, Andrew Watson, successfully sold the business to Battery Ventures in September 21. And at that point, I moved from sales director to CEO, where I've been for just over 4 years, actually.
I mean, would you let us know what Goodfellow, what does it do? What work do you do in there?
We've been on a journey actually since when we started. We generally produced and sold globally advanced materials. And what I've done over the last 10 years is move us more technical, more consultative sell with our customer base. So we've added capability, we've added geography, and we've added to our customer base. So the offer now probably splits broadly into three tranches: advanced materials and certified reference materials, which are available immediately from stock anywhere globally in small to medium quantities. The second tranche is customized material and components, where we will take any one of those materials or even materials that aren't in our offer, and customize it, whether it's size, shape, temper, or it's a finished or semi-finished component, typically for high-tech applications. And then the last tranche is material testing and analysis, which we do at our laboratory in Switzerland. And again, this encompasses all material science applications, anything from failure analysis through to tensile testing.
I mean, I gather, Goodfellow, you're adopting to global challenges by diversifying sourcing and investing in recyclable alternatives.
Of course.
That reduce rare earth dependency. Would you elaborate on that?
Yeah, I think for any company now, you've got to have a view on climate change and look to improve your processes, whether it's as simple as all of our electric company vehicles are electric, right through to the more complex, where we're looking to source from green manufacturing. I think that the very nature of what we do, supplying small quantities and supplying bespoke small quantities, actually means that our customers can reduce waste. They can get the exact quantity they need. They can then develop that to be the exact product they need. And also, as you'd expect from a materials company, we also do a lot of our own internal recycling. So, where we're producing discs, for example, if there is waste material, then that is recycled. And beyond that, and probably this is the key bit for us is we're supporting a lot of technologies that are leading the way in climate change. So anything from the green technologies that fusion, fusion experiments, which could be a significant opportunity for the future, through to battery technology and supporting that with materials.
Collaboration. I think that's an important word to you. Would you elaborate?
Elaborate what even further than that in terms of the green technology.
Yeah.
Look, I think that probably is most of what we do. I think the very nature of materials is that they are green. They're coming out of the ground, and a lot of what we are doing is relatively simple transformation. And these are going into not just green energy and green initiatives led by all kinds of research facilities globally, but also medical and going into medical advancements and areas of other technology and advanced research as well.
USA tariffs. I did have I was watching television one night back in I think it might have been April. Don't hold me to it exactly. And you came up on news at 6 or 7, I forget, or Channel 4 News, one of them. And I thought, I've seen him before. And I think this very question was put to you about the world of tariffs. How are you coping with it?
Look, I've been with Goodfellow 10 years, and one thing I've certainly realised is that it's not been plain sailing, and everything, including pestilence, So you look at what's been thrown at us over the last 10 years, from a company that is an exporter. We've had COVID, we've had Brexit. We've had a European war, and now here we are with the latest tariffs. So we are adaptable as a business. We are fortunate that we have a global footprint. So I have a lab in Switzerland. Most of our manufacturing is in the UK. However, we also have a manufacturing facility in Baltimore in the USA. So that enables us to adapt to whatever's in front of us. But there is a bit of a level playing field here with a lot of the advanced materials that we supply, because if you look at things like aluminium production, most of it's done in China. I think around about 90%. So it's not as though at the moment there are those alternatives available. Of course, the tariff landscape may change that and will change that. And we need to, as a business, adapt to make sure that we're still providing the very best service for our customers at a price that's viable.
The final question I've got for you today, I can't resist. I'm asking a lot of people this, but I'd be very interested to hear your perspective. And that is, if you were the Chancellor, what policies would you like to impose to enable growth? And that's not a politically loaded gun. I'm just interested in your views.
Would you like me to say 0% CGT?
Whatever you like.
Yeah, please.
What would you do?
No, look. I think a lot of what they're already doing in terms of investing in R&D is key. If you look at our customer base, nearly all of our customer inquiries start with R&D. They may end up in production, but that we're following that journey with a lot of our customers. So investing in high-tech research and development, investing in advanced materials is really important. And it isn't just, we've spoken about green technology, but some of the things that projects that we're involved in are advancing medical advancements. So everything from microfluidics, which is biotech and enables super fast drug delivery, through to some of our materials that are used for curing cancer and or helping deaf babies here. Now, all of that starts with research and development and investment in research and development. So continuing to do that is at the forefront of what I would petition for. But equally, if you look at one of the key areas for this country is productivity, and we talk about productivity and the declining productivity in this country, but what we don't talk about are the causes of that. And one of the big causes from my perspective is red tape. If you're an exporter in the UK, there's a myriad of red tape, and it isn't getting any easier. It hasn't got easier because of Brexit. It hasn't got easier because of tariffs. It hasn't got easier because of all of the other initiatives that the government and other governments come up with that mean that we need to employ non-productive people to be able to address those. And whilst some of them are welcome, some of them are clearly driving green initiatives and things like that. My wish would be that we look at those in their entirety and go, right, how do we make businesses, SMEs like mine, more productive through reducing red tape?
Simon Kenney, it's been a great pleasure, and thank you very much for your time and actually giving us your time while you're away in the United States on business. Thank you.
No, thank you for changing the time so it was a more conducive time for me in the US. And great to chat with you again, Aaron. Thank you.